if you're a Republican, I want to know this answer. I want to know why you haven't asked if almost 12 million people on Medicaid are going to lose their insurance. Why haven't you asked the one basic important question you should ask? If nearly 12 million people are going to lose their insurance, how many are going to die because they don't have insurance? How many? 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 25,000? How come none of you're voting for this bill? You're voting, and some of you are cheering this bill on. You're not voting for it. You're a Republican. You're going, yeah, go, 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 go. Not one of you has asked, wait a minute, if we kick nearly 12 million people off of their insurance, how many people will die?
Disabled senior citizens were literally zip-tied by police because they were peacefully protesting the Medicaid cuts. And I gotta say, immediately when I saw this, my immediate reaction was to do my research to put together a video that raises public awareness specifically about how the federal Medicaid cuts would force states to eliminate services for disabled adults, older adults, and children. And how literally a new study just found that proposed Medicaid cuts could lead to thousands of deaths. How a literal Republican senator, Bitch McConnell, said that voters will get over losing Medicaid. Then I stopped because I remembered something. As much as Latinos get a bad rap, as they should, for voting for Trump, even after we warned them about the bullshit from the illegal deportations that this administration was gonna fucking do, I gotta fucking tell you, I have not forgotten. In the 2024 election, white voters made up an estimated 71% of the national electorate. And that 71% transgenerationally overwhelmingly voted for Trump. Y'all motherfuckers might as well have. I will vote
for Donald Trump. You mean to tell me they still trying to pass this bill that will cut $900 billion from Medicaid?
They are coming for our health insurance. That's all there is to it. They are coming for Medicaid. They are going to kick 15 million Americans off of their health insurance if they pass their bill.
You think the cuts to Medicaid in the Republican budget bill don't impact you? I hope that you or anyone you love never needs a nursing home. I hope you never need to give birth or wanted grandchildren. I hope you don't live in a rural area where hospitals will close. I hope you're not 1 in 4 Americans who becomes disabled over the course of your lifetime. I hope you never get into a car accident or have a stroke. I hope you pass away peacefully in your sleep at home, even though that is not the reality for the majority of Americans. I hope you never develop a complex chronic illness that private insurance refuses to cover anymore. I hope all of these things for you. But there are no guarantees. More likely than not, the cuts to Medicaid will result in a worse level of care for everyone, you included.
The so-called Big Beautiful Bill proposed by MAGA leaders is slashing Medicaid like it's out of style, leaving millions and millions of hard-working Americans stranded without healthcare coverage. White Americans are freaking out. Conservative heartland towns and MAGA strongholds are in panic mode, yelling, "We need our coverage." While some of the Orange Man's Republican stronghold are blasting this bill as a betrayal, warning that it's gonna leave over 10 million Americans without healthcare coverage. How does a country like the United States, the biggest economy in the world, the most powerful nation in the world, have a problem with giving healthcare, basic healthcare, to its citizens, while less richer European countries like France, UK, Germany, which are less richer than the states of California, Texas, and Florida, New York, have 100% healthcare coverage for their citizens, while the US doesn't. Let me know in the comment section below, guys. I'm your presenter, Joel Mugisha. If you're new, kindly consider subscribing, hit that like button, and let's talk about it.
Capitol was stormed today by senior citizens in wheelchairs wearing T-shirts saying healthcare cuts will kill, while peacefully protesting the big pile of trash bill that will cut millions of low-income and disabled people off Medicaid. They had to zip tie them to make sure that they couldn't use their hands to use the button to do a getaway in their wheelchair, because those things can get up to like 8 miles an hour. It could have been a high-speed wheelchair chase. They could have had to call out the copters. They also had to confiscate their signs that said Senate Republicans don't kill us, save Medicaid, and 60 million off Medicaid. And all of this was because it's apparently illegal to protest inside the Capitol. And I remember an event a couple years ago where, a couple thousand people stormed the Capitol, vandalized, looted, assaulted, injured 174 police officers. Those people are celebrated and given pardons by our president, while disabled senior citizens are arrested for protesting millions of low-income and disabled people losing their health care. Make it make sense.
So you were telling me that people are unaware, they're unaware that the whole reason why hospitals are not allowed to turn you away in an emergency situation, regardless of your ability to pay, is because of the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, which states that hospitals who receive Medicare funding are not allowed to turn you away. And they are proposing to cut back on Medicare and Medicaid. Talk to a caseworker. There are no ineligible people who are receiving it. The only people who are receiving it are eligible because there is a vetting process. All these people that they say are illegally getting it, it's not happening. The point is to start the process to get rid of it entirely. And if we get rid of the only guaranteed payment for medical care in this country and we leave it all to our pockets with no support, guess what's going to happen to you? You are going to lose out on care because hospitals are going to close who depend on that funding. We don't have enough money to pay the bills that they decided were fair. Which, I'm sorry, I just had a life-saving surgery and I owe $3,000. If I don't pay $55 fucking dollars that I don't have to my primary care physician, they can decide to no longer treat me, and they will. And I've got to start all over again somewhere else. You all think that you're safe because, it's been that way because we fought to get it that way, and they're reversing it. You all have been so fucking pampered that you don't understand what we had to fight for to get you. Oh, but everyone dies. Bitch, apparently not fucking politicians.
All right, friends, we have some extreme breaking news. Please listen up. Senate Republicans just voted 51-49. This advances Trump's 940-page big, beautiful bill. And it gets worse fast. Here's what they're sneaking in. $793 billion slashed from Medicaid in the next 10 years. Cutting coverage for over 10 million people, and is even hitting rural hospitals hard. $295 billion yanked from SNAP, aka food stamps. This is a $5 trillion increase to the debt ceiling. Yes, trillion with a T to pay for it all. That's $4.5 trillion in tax cuts in the next 10 years, and that's, of course, for the wealthiest. They're making Trump's 2017 tax cuts permanent, expanding SALT deductions, wiping out green energy credits, and adding $150 billion to immigration enforcement. Oh, and how are they doing this? By rushing a 940-page bill through debate, all before July 4th, friends, while most senators haven't even read it. Friends, this changes your life. Who gets health care? Who gets food stamps? Even to how much debt you owe. This is not hypothetical. Friends, make sure you're calling your senators, letting them know not to pass this bill without full transparency. If we stay silent, this passes. No one reads it. No one stops it. Your health care, your groceries, your future debt, this bill touches it all. Please make sure you share this. Get it out.
11 million Americans are about to lose their access to Medicaid, and you want to know what Mitch McConnell has to say about that? Get the fuck over it. Now sit down if you're MAGA, because this video is also for you. Because you want to know who is raising these concerns? Republican constituents. That's right. What is happening is the congresswomen, congressmen, senators, all who are up for re-election in the midterms are going to Mitch McConnell and they're stating, hey, we are getting called on the daily by our Republican constituents, and they are asking us to take out the Medicaid cuts because they do not want to lose access to their health care. We are worried about getting primaried. And Mitch McConnell says, get the fuck over it. Don't worry, they'll vote for us anyways. Now, mind you, Republicans love to say that only the left use government assistance. No, it's equal opportunity, baby. There are a lot of people on both sides who are going to be fucked by this. So remember that in midterms. This is absolute bullshit. It is so bullshit that our taxpayers' dollars, hundreds of thousands of our taxpayers' dollars, go to these people while they cut the health care of disabled people, of low-income people. It's bullshit.
I told y'all that Medicaid was going to be non-existent. Right now, Medicaid is hot outside. Right now, Medicaid is frozen in all 50 states until they decide what they're going to do with the big budget bill at 5 o'clock today. So if they don't come up with a conclusion of what they're going to do, guess what? It's still going to be frozen in all 50 states. I don't think that's just frozen for the immigrants, like some people like to say, but nobody going to listen to me. And they don't understand that this is going to affect more than people who... The Medicaid is only for the people who need it. No, it's also going to affect nursing homes. It's going to affect hospitals. Why? Because the less patients they have in there, which means they're going to lay off doctors and nurses and CNAs and LPNs, which means that those people are going to be laid off and jobless. I don't think that y'all are really understanding what the fuck is going on. Oh, and then like childcare, they're talking about ending childcare. Do you not understand that it is basically the government against the citizens? I don't think y'all realize what's really going on. Y'all keep believing them people if y'all want to, but y'all better get prepared. And now we was always laughing at those immigrants trying to come over to the United States, but watch us be trying to go to their countries and go get medical help.
Hey MAGA, I know we don't chat much, but I just wanted to do a quick check-in since the Medicaid cut information had been released. Now I know you guys don't like to admit that you use means-tested programs like Medicaid at far higher per capita rates than we do. But you know what? I don't want to fight about that right now. Instead, let's talk about your favorite subject, undocumented people, and the strain you believe that they put on our systems and resources. For the Boomer, Gen X, and Millennial MAGA out there, you may remember Pat Buchanan and Lou Dobbs railing against undocumented people for, among 65 other things, their use of ERs as their primary form of healthcare because they had no access to insurance to get any other healthcare, preventative or otherwise, through any other avenue. So in cities with higher undocumented populations, there were increased strains on emergency rooms because thanks to EMTALA, hospitals are essentially the only place where doctors are mandated to provide you emergency care regardless of your status, insurance, or ability to pay. But back to the Medicaid cuts. With the new regulations and restrictions being proposed by the Republicans, the conservative estimates are that over 8 million people will be kicked off of Medicaid. Other estimates are closer to 13 million. When those millions of people lose their health insurance and their ability to see preventative care doctors, where do you think they're going to go for their health care when things go wrong? If you said the ER, you'd be right. The already strained ERs will be filled by people with conditions that could have been prevented. That's a problem, and it might not feel like your problem until you remember that you don't get to choose which hospital your ambulance takes you to after that 3-car pileup or after that heart attack at Applebee's. Pretty sure your family will be worried about the ER resource strain then, but I don't know, you tell.
The Supreme Court ruled that states can now cut off Medicaid funding for Planned Parenthood. And my thing is, do people who are on Medicaid not deserve the services from Planned Parenthood? Like, they don't deserve cancer screenings. Pregnant women don't deserve prenatal care. No gender-affirming care, no abortions, no STD testing, none of that, just because they're on Medicaid? That's not making any sense. So basically, the people who are needing assistance are now not going to specifically be able to get assistance from Planned Parenthood because the Supreme Court just said, no, you guys can actually, decide if you want to cut off the Medicare funding to Planned Parenthood. What? Like, it's more than just about policing people's bodies. It's about having full and total control, especially for those with less than or, perceived less than, but people who are on, government assistance of any kind, people who maybe don't have everything. It's basically just a kick in the face to them. But it's like, so because they get assistance from the government, they then don't deserve to have the right for all of these other things in Planned Parenthood. It's actually just evil Like, there's nothing else to say about that. It's just evil. There's no, oh, maybe it's because of this. This is the reason why. No, it's just simply evil. It's an evil thing to do. There's no actual reason or logic behind doing that other than to be evil. Like, that's literally it at this point.
You mean to tell me they still trying to pass this bill that will cut $900 billion from Medicaid? Come on, sip a little tea with Auntie. Let's talk about it. Man, so many young children as well as our elders receive Medicaid to buy their medicines. Y'all, do you know how many sick children? They're going to limit the amount of prescriptions that they can get a month. They're going to limit the brand of drug that they can have. They're going to limit so much stuff when it come down to Medicaid that it's going to be ridiculous. Imagine having to cut $900 billion from something. Come on now. I think they could have cut it from somewhere else. And don't play with nobody's medicine, y'all. Medicine is not the way to go. I don't think they should have messed with no type of nothing. Doctor's visits and all this stuff. All this stuff is covered under Medicaid. That shouldn't have been the factor that they go through for this budget. There's other ways to cut money. I'm going to leave y'all with this. We had money for a parade. Over budgeted parade because we budgeted a whole lot of money from what they're saying for this parade that didn't have hardly nobody in it. We had money for that, millions of dollars for that, but we ain't got, the money for to continually fund our elders and our children. Let's say this too. A lot of people holler, it came from donations. Ain't nobody donated to that man. Ain't nobody donated to that man, not one bit for one. He's a billionaire already. He could have took money out his own to his own party. That's all I'm saying. Why take money that could have went back into Medicaid here and then we didn't have to cut so much of it out of it. That's all I'm saying. Thank y'all for sipping a little more tea when I ain't tea. Bye, y'all.
That hospitals closing because of Medicaid cuts is just a Democratic scare tactic. But here's what I know. My cousin is a health professional at a hospital in Indiana, and her hospital is on the list of facilities that could shut down if these Medicaid cuts go through. This is not hypothetical. This is her job and the people she works with in a community that may lose access to care. Across Indiana, hospitals are already cutting back. Columbus Regional Health just laid off staff and shut down its rehab unit. Medicaid already underpays. These new cuts would push many facilities into the red. If you think this is a lie, talk to the people who are living it, the hospital workers, the families, the rural communities already watching services disappear. The people calling this a hoax won't be the ones driving 90 minutes for emergency care. We can argue politics all day, but when your hospital closes, it won't matter who you voted for. And no, we won't say sorry for raising the alarm. We'll keep fighting to protect the people who actually need care before it's too late.
All right, guys, there you have it. Actually, it's really funny to me how some human beings are happy when, adversity comes upon other people except them. This is the story of a lot of white Americans who actually voted for the orange man. This is the story of a lot of senior citizens who actually voted for the orange man, thinking that his policies were only going to affect, Latinos and illegal immigrants and people of color. They never thought that anything like this was going to affect them, because now, as we have seen in the videos, some senior, white folks are actually protesting against Medicaid being cut, because now they actually stand a chance of losing their health care. Now, why did you vote for this? Because you thought that it was never going to affect you, because you thought that it was only going to affect people of color, and minority groups, but never the palm-colored people, never the Caucasian. A lot of Americans actually voted to make America great again. Well, in the orange man's idea of a great America, you are not included. This is the reality. A lot of you guys are getting a reality check. You're getting instant karma, because you're finding out that in the great America that the orange man actually envisioned, it was only about the billionaires. It was only about, cutting taxes for the billionaires, not for the common citizen, not for the middle class, not for the poor. First it was Obamacare, then it was DI. Now it's Medicaid, food stamps, Medicare. Everything is going away. They claim that a lot of illegal immigrants were actually taking resources from American citizens. Are they not taking your social benefits in Medicare? Is it illegal immigrants that are taking that from you. No, it is your vote. The vote that you actually casted in hatred, the vote that you actually casted, with racism, that's taking that away. Because you cannot claim that the orange man lied to you. You cannot claim that he betrayed you. No, you already had a chance with the orange man to learn your lesson back in 2017. You already had him the first time and you never learned your lesson. All you wanted was an America that was only for one people, and we know which people is that. You wanted a lot of people of color, a lot of Latinos, illegal immigrants deported, yet you forgot that they were working in your firms, making you a lot of money, making you millions and millions of dollars. You forgot that they were actually the ones who are working in your construction sites. You forgot that they were the ones that were in the plumbing section. You forgot that a lot of these guys actually worked in the truck industry, delivering food to your doorsteps, delivering food and commodities to your best retail stores. Well, this is what you get when you vote for hatred. This is what you get when you vote for racism. This is what you get when you are ignorant. Now you're losing Medicaid. As a senior citizen, I expect you to actually look out for your best interest, but the hatred was too deep. This is why we're seeing senior citizens actually being handicapped by the police as they peacefully protest against Medicaid being cut. Well, the big beautiful bill is actually proving to be beautiful for MAGA. The problem is MAGA doesn't actually like it. A lot of you guys are waking up to the fact that, Democrats, black folks tried to warn you and you did not listen. Most of you are coming out here regretting your votes, but it's a little bit too late. If you spill water on the ground, you can never pick up that water again. So the harm is done, the mistakes are done. This is what you are getting. You're getting exactly what you voted for. The only problem is that a lot of people who actually try to help you on the ballot box and did not vote for this are gonna be affected by this. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what do you think about this episode of Medicaid being cut? Let's keep the conversation going in the comment section below. I'm your presenter, Joel Mogisha. If you're new, kindly consider subscribing. YouTube tells me that a lot of you watch these videos and you're not subscribed. Please hit that like button. Hit that like button. Thank you. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. See you in the next episode.